is dead to most of his voters. But before we go into that, why, let's introduce this gentleman about which the video it is made. The video is not only about him, it's about the whole situation in the world with the COVID, but also how that is connected to the polar reversal and the magnetic excursion. So, as you know, Emmanuel Macron is a French president. He is forcing mandatory passports for COVID vaccinations, which people don't like it. Public ones. He was working for a Rothschild family in the banking industry. I am sure that during this time he received a bit of a training. He had mentors that were guiding him how to become a better leader or what the world is all about. And I am sure that whatever is happening right now, it has something to do with that. However, don't jump to the conclusion that everything that's coming from a child is evil, because that is not correct. What is happening behind the scenes is often misunderstood and is being exploited by conspiracy theorists to the maximum. It would be much better if those people were a little bit more involved in the public media, giving some feedback on what actually is going on behind the scenes. That is not happening, and it's at this point this is not really important at all. So the whole thing started after the riots in France, after he declared that either you take the shot and either you stay home permanently. So that infuriated not only just regular citizens, but also people in the politics, in the government services. So he has on his hand a big giant revolt in everywhere. As you can see, there is a solidarity in some cases where the police, fire department, nurses, doctors, they are working together with the Protestants. And in many cases, even the politicians. So that is kind of a pickle. Now, I am sure that he was following instructions from people that are trying to bring the global unity, or as we call it, totalitarianism. I know that those guys, they didn't think this through. You cannot enforce any totalitarian regime without citizens approving that, and that's why we have lots of problems. If people don't understand what they are getting into, there is going to be resistance. In fact, this is expected to happen. There is a massive blow to that, because Israeli spyware Pegasus is apparently spying on him. It is done to see his loyalty, and this is not only done to him, but other politicians as well, all over the world. In Germany, in UK, in US, in Canada, Australia, all the countries, people are being spied on. So this is a blow, because this can turn this whole revolt in France into something that they don't really want it, but it may happen. And I am suspecting that either in the spring to 22 or 23, or maybe fall 22, this is going to be a major component of overturning totalitarianism in Europe completely. I will explain in the second part of this video a little bit more. All right, so he might be the one who is going to turn back on this whole globalists agenda and stand up with the people. But if he does, then he's gonna be probably Epstein. Let's hope not. All right. The strikes, the riots, they are everywhere. In Australia, they are in Greece. There is a lot of violence there. There is In Italy, they called the prime minister or the Italian, prime minister Hitler. The same thing they did to Macron, because they simply, they don't know what to do. They just trying to form massive resistance, letting both of them, it's time for you guys to go, and we want the stuff to be run our way. The use of force is always always will produce resistance, and massive resistance. The more force is going to be used, the more the resistance is going to be more inventive, because people are going to organize themselves and they will hit places where the government is the least expecting, and there are going to be lots of violence. But that is to be expected. In fact, the whole Project COVID is designed that way. Now you can see not only people that are against the vaccines, but also the people that already did get the vaccines. They are going on those riots because even though they did receive them, they still required to be wearing masks, and there are some other restrictions. So there is a lot of confusion. How come you are vaccinated and then you still have to follow some restrictions? So, it's a mess. I will explain that. After every time people go into this violent resistance or riots, they leave behind lots of damage. We are losing a lot of services. We are dependent on them, but slowly this is very costly. And again, I am saying this over and over. This is designed that way. This is designed to collapse the whole system. I will explain that in the second part. So what is in the center of this whole thing are the vaccines. And the way they are administered, what's in it, a lack of honest explanation what this is all about. Because there is an underlying cause for this, which is not being made public. It's a kind of shame that they don't do that. Now, many conspiracy theorists are, at the beginning, they were telling people that this is designed to kill some people, especially in the developing countries, that they are going to receive first, to wipe them out. That is not the case, because as you can see, the vaccines are being administered in the very developing country, or the rich countries. They are the one getting first. So you should start thinking here right away, hey, wait a minute, this is something wrong with that conspiracy theories. The other thing is, people notice, because in the first documents released about how this vaccine is going to be made, I saw the ingredients. However, the list disappeared. There is no longer online that you can find it. Even in the patent, when they list all the ingredients, there are chemical formulas which I don't understand at all, and even the biochemists cannot understand that, because those chemicals, they have to be in something, and what that is, no one really understands. Nobody really knows. So were the fetus cells in that vaccines? This is a lot of misunderstanding here, because this is not actually the cells from the fetus that are going to those vaccines. This article here, I am leaving a link below. You can read it and see for yourself that there is something that called line of stem cells, not the dead cells from the fetus. They are apparently used only in trials and at the beginning in the production, to see how they are going to be working, if they are working at all, experiments and tests and what's not. However, I am not sure if the stem cells are not in the vaccine itself. But please do remember that you need to do digging on your own. Don't believe anything I say or you read. First of all, find out what stem cells it's not from the fetus, it's from the ambient fluid, what impact they have on other cells when they are introduced to, because that's important. This is something that people are missing, but that's really important. There was another ingredient that people are having problem is the luciferase. In here they are listing this as an enzyme, but I think this is that's a lipid. I am not a scientist, so I don't really care what it is, but this is something that is needed to be in there to help with this whole vaccine to be successful. And that part is not listed anymore in the patent. It's under different name, different symbol. Please do research that because I am sure that there is a reason for that, why this is done this way. Again, this has something to do with behavior of the cells, the mRNA, how they will respond to that once they are exposed to the lower magnetic field and or magnetic bursts. Because okay, I will stop right here. So to understand correctly what this is all about, you need to start digging on your own. In this video, I cannot explain all the element that goes into that. The only thing I will tell you that yes, the magnetic excursion, the polar reversal, is causing that some of the viruses that we are going to face, they are going to be very active. This happened in the past. This happened during you remember the Egyptian plague? You remember that the Black Plague, that was always, both of them, they were associated with magnetic excursions, sun activities. And throughout history, if you can trace them back to for the past 10 or 15,000 years, you will find them in deposits that there were viruses that were wiping out lots of species, including humans. So in my opinion, this vaccine is sort of trying to prevent, to escalate the spreading of those viruses and microbes, because there are other microbes that might be reactivated. Recently, someone found in tissues that were frozen in ice viruses from the past couple of thousand years ago, and they are planning to, they are dormant for now, but they are trying to reactivate it. What could go wrong with that? Tell me, what could possibly go wrong? Well, they should leave them where they are, not to touch it, don't even look at them. But our science is, the fact that we have this whole COVID situation right now, it shows that there are other people behind the scene pushing different narrative. Let's leave that alone, because I don't want to get into the controversy over the conspiracies. That's not necessary. There are people doing that already, and if you want, go that route, find them and listen to them. The truth is that most of what is being said negatively about this vaccine is not correct. Lots of stuff that is said positively about this vaccine is also not correct. The truth is somewhere in between. Is there any help coming from this? Probably yes. I don't know what, because I am not a scientist, so I cannot say. What the side effects are, we already see the side effects. There are some pulmonary and heart problems, there are inflammations. But this is happening only in few cases where people are already preconditions for that to escalate to something really serious. This type of vaccines can be done as a custom-made vaccines, but we are not at that level of understanding. Please do understand that the Project COVID is designed to expose the corruption in the world and how the system is broken. That's the main component. The whole thing is designed to collapse that and start from scratch. Hello and welcome back. This video may seem to you a little bit off topic, a little bit not in line with what I was doing before. However, that's not correct. All the events in the world right now, what is happening, they are connected with the polar reversal, the magnetic excursion. That's what this whole thing is all about. There's a group of men behind the scene that they do understand. They analyze all the findings from the past. They understand what is about to happen, how much the human behavior is going to change, how the health issues are going to change. Therefore, what you see here, it is something that is attempt to give a better chance of survival, but not only that, it is designed to have a better control over the situation. It is a shame that there is not enough reliable information where people can just listen to the truth, to what is actually happening, what is going to be unfolding in front of us, what to expect. Therefore, there is a psychology used to do that. I could explain more and more about why and what, but this at this point is not important anyway. The only thing I can give you as an advice: get organized, form societies, form groups, get organized. That's my message, and I'm going to be saying that in almost every video. That's the key, that's the part, that's the unspoken message to you through the actions, what is happening in the world. Because we are leading towards a time where the hunger, the distraction is going to be higher and higher. Let's say, from what you see, how the weather behaves, crops are going to be lost, and then there are going to be massive deaths everywhere in the world. The decay of those bodies are going to produce lots of famine, because not everybody is going to be buried, the bodies are going to be left somewhere up there, and that is going to affect further. You do understand what I'm trying to say. So Macron, in his attempt to vaccinate everyone and have a passport that proves that he did, they have good intentions, but those, as you know, good intentions, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Hitler did that, Stalin did that, and all the other people did that. Because at some point, things are not going to go as planned, and the situation here is the same. And the Pegasus issue, the spying on those politicians and on him, this is going to be a key turning point where things are going to go really bad. One thing the people behind the scene are kind of missing, that they are against the universe. This is like an ant trying to push away an elephant. It's not going to happen. If we design one way of conquering something, let's say that vaccines which we are going to know by 2030 how well they are working. And if we conquer that side, something else is going to show up. Because there is a much grandeur plan which is unfolding, and whatever is supposed to happen is going to happen. So if you block the pressure on one side, it's going to build up somewhere else. So what I'm saying, that even though they might help with this, something else is going to pop up. And usually that's the case. So in this situation, what will happen, and is already unfolding, that all the government agencies are going to collapse. UN is going to collapse due to inability to control the situation with food all over the world. At some point they are going to be faced with something they cannot handle, and they have to collapse, they have to go. Then each government, the people of each country are going to blame their own government for not stepping up, not doing enough. They will also collapse. So I am not trying to be a guy who is spreading some sort of negative message and trying to trigger more and more conspiracy theories, because they are not. Those are facts. This is something that is known for thousands of years, that each time something like that happens, there is uprise, there are diseases, there is food shortage, and so on. And the people that usually go to the next level, to the next stage, are the ones that are organized. You understand that? So, if I am saying to you, forum societies, forum groups, get together, I am not kidding, because you, as a single person, you have zero chance of survival, none. If you follow any of those preppers and the survival gurus, you don't have any chance of survival, any. If you follow the guy named Douglas, you don't have any chance of survival. If you take guns to the caves and you lock 2,000 people in there, most likely no one is going to come out within the next 2-3 months. But I'm sure this whole process, this whole project of his is never going to take off, because he's already seeding problems, and the problems are going to be magnified even further. Now, going into smaller groups like 200 people, where you want to organize yourself, it's a better chance. However, there is lots of problems with that. It is better to form a group of people that is coordinating and helping set up different groups. Like, all society should come together as one with common goal in mind. Let's say out of 5,000-10,000 people, 20 people are the ones that are supposed to survive. That's the goal. But if you are we trying to do that for ourselves only, my family, my land, my cave, my gun, it's out. Alright? So, right now I'm working on a plan. Actually, the plan is in the process of finalizing. I am focusing only on reversal and what this is, what to expect, how to prepare yourself for that, what to do. Believe me, there are much simple things that are presented by preppers and others. You need to know about some stuff that is going to be happening. I already mentioned to you that lots of people are going to be disappearing just like that. And my next video probably is going to be one that is being the closure for all the magnetic anomalies that are already start to happening, and people are going to be disappearing in hundreds, not just 1, 2, 3, but in hundreds. They are just going to be gone. And then I'm going to focus on that project only. I'm working on my book. I'm trying to finish this year so I can present that book to you. There's a lot of stuff that I am not talking about, but I hope that book is going to be received very well, and I'm not going to have a problem with publishing that, because there are some subjects that are very sensitive. So if you like this type of material that I am presenting to you, please do subscribe. Please also check the notification bell, and as well please do like this video. That helps a lot. Right now I'm doing this for free. I struggle because I'm still working, and I am thinking about switching the platform so I can have a little bit support from those that really can afford to support me, because I need to pay my bills somehow, and that's kind of issue I could focus permanently of sharing with you what is coming my way, because I am receiving information every single day right now. It's overwhelming, but I am going to work through that, and I'm going to present it as much as I can. All right? So thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.